So here's my AP1 S2000. It's a 2002 with 73,000 miles on it. You saw in my last video I replaced the valve retainers with AP2 intake valve retainers and the keepers as well. They say to leave the springs and everything stock, and they don't recommend replacing the exhaust side retainers. The only ones that usually crack are on the intake side, so right now the car has the AP2 retainers in it. So the only thing I didn't do last time is replace the spark plugs. When I had them pulled out when I was doing the retainers, that I noticed they were probably the original ones because they look pretty shot. So the spark plug changes on this car are a lot easier than my SI, mainly because your valve cover is pretty much nothing's in the way of it. On the SI you have to take the radiator, or not the radiator, the front support between the two shock towers off, just so you can get to the valve cover. Alright, so first thing to do when replacing the spark plugs is you got to take off the spark plug cover here. There's the 5mm Allen hex key wrench to get this off. There's 4 bolts. Just pop those off. Alright, so we got the spark plug cover off. These are the spark plugs I'm going to be replacing them with. This is what is recommended as the OEM spec for the S2000. The part number is PFR7G11S. It's an NGK laser platinum spark plug. These are supposed to come pre-gapped, but I'm going to check them just to be safe. Alright, so now you're going to want to unplug all the coil packs and take these 10mm bolts out, pull the coil packs out, and you're going to have clear access to your spark plugs. Alright, so the coil packs are out. What I like to do is set them in order from where I took them out, that one being closest to the firewall, and then that one being closest to the front of the car. So when you get ready to take the spark plugs out, what I do is I take a 5/8 inch socket for the spark plug and wrap the end of it with electrical tape. You don't want to wrap the larger part of the diameter because it actually gets stuck in the tube where the spark plugs are. So you want to keep it on the hex end of it so it doesn't increase the overall diameter of it. And then that way the socket doesn't pull out when you pull your spark plug out. So this is one of the spark plugs out of the engine. They're all about in the same condition as this one. There it is. It's pretty beat to hell. It's probably the original one. It's probably 14 years old, and you know, it's definitely due for a change. The gap on this one is around 53 thousandths. The new ones, they're supposed to be between 39 and 43 thousandths. All of mine came in from the factory at about 42 to 43, so they're in spec. I'm going to leave them alone. But it should definitely be a huge upgrade over these guys. Here's a little clip showing the difference between a brand new plug and one that has 73,000 miles on it with lots of VTEC in the S2000. You can see that the new one's got quite a nice point on the electrode. This one is just completely rounded off. Here's all 4 of the old spark plugs. All the new ones are in. So all we got to do now is reinstall the coil packs, torque them down to 9 foot-pounds. This is the 10mm bolt that goes on top of the coil packs right there. Torque those to 9 foot-pounds. And the spark plugs themselves I torque to 20 foot-pounds. Honda recommends 18 to 20. Anywhere in there is fine. Alright, so our coil packs are all installed. These bolts here are torqued to 9 foot-pounds. The spark plugs are torqued to 20. All you gotta do now is reinstall your spark plug cover with the 5mm Allen wrench, and you're good to go. And we're gonna fire it up.
With this antisocial pessimism.
So now my S2000 has AP2 intake retainers, intake valve retainers with as well as the keepers. New spark plugs. I did the timing chain tensioner fix where you sandblast the worm gear on the inside of the piston. So there's no more timing chain rattle anymore. So I think all the maintenance is up to date now. And she should be good and ready to rip for the year. Thanks for watching.